Greetings and blessings. The sermon for today is entitled Multiculti. The poet in me just loves the way that sounds, multiculti. Multiculti, removing unconscious debris from the soil of the soul. I think that in its essence, multiculti is a call for a new story. Speaking of story, once upon a time, on the south side of Chicago, in a no-fault land of asphalt, so close and yet so far away, I thought I was too sinister to be a minister. I knew I ate too much ham to be an imam. And yes, way too full of yeast to be a priest. And as thick as my head is, and as thick as I am, I still felt too frail to ever find the Holy Grail. That was my story that I told myself, for myself, all by myself. Then as the story unfolds, one day I was sitting in my living room watching a sunset, one of them Arizona sunsets, looking out at the Mingus Mountains, and I heard words. They were Bob Dylan words. And the voice was Jimi Hendrix. And he said, "There is no reason to get excited. The thief, he kindly spoke. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. But you and I, we've been through that. And this is not our fate. So hey, let's stop talking falsely now. The hour's getting late." Then I said, no matter the hour, no matter what time it is, I hear the voice of creation. Yes, I know the Creator has so many, many names. God, Goddess, the universe, Isis, Moses, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, Wakantanka, Olorun, Olodumare, Jinyami, Yahweh, your way, my way, anyway. On this day I say, call him her, peace be still. So let peace be still on this Mother's Day. This day of honoring out loud and on purpose those I like to refer to as simply the marvelous ones. Yes. Those who grow human beings in their bodies are mothers. The mothers who teach us how to be human. Teach us how to be human. We love you. We honor you this day and every day. Multiculti, removing unconscious bias from the soil of the soul. For us, it begins and ends as spiritual practice. Again, about writing a new story and untangling from an old story and an old self. I tend to agree with what old Albert Schweitzer said. The path of awakening is not about becoming who you are. Rather, it is about unbecoming who you are not. Who am I not anymore? Who are you not anymore? That inner work first. Oh, yes, we love to protest and writing checks and speaking out loud. It's a powerful thing and most necessary. But let us offer that we begin with the removing. ING, removing, those three letters, most important, reminds us that it's a process. This is no one and done. No read a book, go to a workshop, wipe my hands, done that. No, this is a journey, a living, breathing activity that we practice. We practice consciously and as best we can. Like you, my journey did not begin with a blank slate. You know, I do not believe in that tabula rasa, that blank slate. We are not born. No, we're not born blank slates, but complicated beings with inherited gifts and stories and biases built in. We have a fancy word for it in my culture. We call it DNA. I offer that unconscious bias is something we caught, something we were all taught, and we all, to some degree, bought. Caught, taught, and bought. Yeah. I also believe it is fair to say that somewhere along the way, you would not be watching this video or be sharing space together if you, like me, didn't have an urge to discover a new way, to undo what you were given, an awareness to create a new meaning, a new story with some new intention to create a new. Ben Okri reminds us the most authentic thing about us is our capacity to create, to overcome, to endure, to transform, to love, and to be greater than our suffering. Grow wherever life puts you down. So this is a journey. This unbecoming who we are not is a journey we walk every day, over and over again. So how does this play out? What does this all mean in our current time of tumult, time of pandemic, our time of racial, gender, and economic turmoil and reckoning? Today's time of tumult, standing as stark and tall as those Mingus mountains I talked about earlier. And yes, behind those mountains, I can see a peak. You see a peak at a crisp, blue, willowy set of clouds, kind of awesome and ethereal. I say they are clouds of a beloved community. Martin Luther King Jr.'s vision of a country where some version of the Zulu philosophy and way of life, known as Ubuntu, is alive and well. The concept, the idea that I am because you are. There is no separation between us. I am you and you are me. I am because you are. You know, Dr. King's most famous speech, like a good jazz tune, featured some improvisation. It's arguably the most iconic part of it, of the speech, which most of us remember, of course. Because, you know, he actually gave the version of that speech in Detroit a couple of months prior to coming to DC. But it was that improvisation, that jazz riff, if you will, at the end of his prepared remarks. The subject being, of course, like our present time of tumult, unfulfilled promise of economic freedom for people of color. But Dr. King broke from that theme, if you will, and he spoke of a vision of a nation where, you remember, people are not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. This is the soil of the soul, removing unconscious bias from the soil of the soul. That means multiculti is not a safe space. Multiculti is a brave space, to borrow a phrase from our minister colleagues. For instance, when my family of origin became Muslims and adopted the last name of Sharif, oh boy, that was scary. I did not. I can still see the anguish on my dad's face when I said that I refused to trade one slave name for another. And I'm being kind here because I can't say what he really said. This is a sermon. So I remained Anthony Johnson, staying with the slave name that I was used to. I would add the African name Umtuaswa sometime later to remind me of my African heritage. Umtuaswa, by the way, is Swahili for natural man. So I acknowledge and offer you to acknowledge that this unbecoming who we are not is not easy work. In fact, our multicultural workshop does require one key thing from you. You ready? Just show up. Yes, just show up. You'll be welcomed in the spirit of improvisation and bravery. I would say the essence of poetry. So allow me to share one of mine with you. Now, we all know that 1 + 1 = 2. Well, I say that one day I have a vision that 1 + 1 will equal 0. The place of no ego. That circle of grace, that meeting place, that round place. The source that paints a smile on a baby's face. Black face, white face, brown face, yellow face, red face, all faces, any face. 1 + 1 will equal 0. As in, my nation plus your nation equals 0 nation. My race plus your race equals 0 race. My gender plus your gender equals 0 gender. Wait a minute, I hear you out there. I hear you saying that you got to give up something. You got to give up your story. No, no. That would be about subtraction. No, this ain't about no takeaway action. This is about addition. Dare I say, a building on condition. Talking about addition. Both and, no either or. As in, my history plus your history erases the mystery. My house plus your house equals the great house, our house. Maybe even my name plus spirit equals a new name. Me plus you equals us. Me plus you equals us. Us. U.S. Do I carry a false hope? Or could the U.S., all America, might be the key? All right, try this on for me. With me, I should say. Close your eyes, open your heart, and look around. The Creator might have said, I'm going to take a people, the inventors of the crown, going to steal them away, beat them down, raise them up slowly. Some going to call them a clown. New name them, new cloak, and new gown. And no matter where they live, railroad track going to split the town. Now, when the year gets to be called a 2 with 3 zeros, there will come a voice, but calling out only to those who know, who understand the new math based on love, not wrath. The gateway to the real path, the path of spirit, the place of the true hero. Yes, it's the path of those who overstand, remember, and teach. The place of the true hero. That one day, 1 plus 1 will equal 0. The place of the true shero. The place of no ego. That I am because you are. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. Ashe.